So good morning, welcome to SouthernCrossGO. My name's Grant. If you're new to the channel, it's nice to meet you. Now today, we're just doing our typical little walk with Lucy, bringing her for a run. Take her for a walk every morning. You know, I'm in a little gang here. It's like between Jalan Grogol Charik and Jalan Imam Banjol. It's predominantly Balinese through here. You see all the penjors and that hanging up. And these are the nice little areas that are still really traditional Balinese. And you'd think you'd be in probably somewhere like Dianya or Ubud or something, walking through here with all the penjors up. And there's a lot of traditional Bali style buildings and that through here. So I just like walking through here. Come on, Lucy. Pagi Pak. Gimana kamu?
Ya.
Bagus ini ya.
Ya, model Bali.
Hah?
Bali style. Ya. Tinggal di mana tuan?
Pemogan Pulau Galang.
Ada rumah?
Ya, ada Penataran Sari, Gang Penataran Sari. Ada business costs and
Bagus. Ini jalan-jalan?
Yeah, just bikin content untuk YouTube.
Okay.
Just the penjor, bagus ini.
Okay.
Ini like seperti Gianya, ya. Just like the penjor.
Ceremony almost everywhere.
Yeah,
Bali, almost. Yeah. Dari mana tuan?
Australia.
Australia mana?
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. Ya.
Sudah lama di Bali, 29 tahun di sini.
Istri orang Bali?
Sebelum istri sekarang, ada istri baru.
Wah, banyak istri, bagus.
No. Aku nikah sama cewek Bali 13 tahun.
Sama?
Sekarang dia tinggal di Australia.
Oh.
Ada dua anak, dua cowok. Wayan Saputra dan Madai Adirama.
Namanya bagus, cakep. Bagus kayak bapaknya.
Wayan sudah kerja dia, and Adirama he's in university in Brisbane.
Sekarang istri baru ada
From Makassar dia.
Dari Makassar.
Sudah 10 tahun sama dia.
Punya anak lagi?
No. Sudah tua.
Yeah.
Sudah kakek tak mau lagi.
Oke.
Oke, Pak.
Di mana?
Anjing saya ini.
Oh iya, itu anjing saya juga mau keluar tuh.
Oh iya.
Mau antar cucu sekolah.
Yeah, right. Oh, hey. What? Galak dia?
Tidak.
No.
Tidak.
Just aja.
Ya, mau keluar. Panggil bosnya. Ikut katanya.
Anjing cerewet.
Ini anjing lokal ya, Bali ya?
Oh, tak tahu.
Cinta mani.
Aku dapat dia di belakang the truck sampah.
Oh,
look, anak kecil begini. Look.
Oh, waktu dia kecil.
And she nangis like. So aku ambil.
Apa ini, cewek cowok?
Cewek.
Siapa nama tuan?
Grant.
Grant, Ketut.
Ketut?
Ya.
Pak Ketut. Okay, Ketut, just jalan-jalan eh.
Okay, Mr. Grant.
Thank you.
Happy morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just come to film the penjor because I really like it. Come on, Lucy. Come on. On the wrong. Lucy's on the. You want to go for a ride, Lucy?
Yeah. Comfortable with the bike.
Yeah. She come everywhere on my bike. Go on, Lucy. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey, Pat.
Jalan-jalan.
Yep. Yeah, well, he was a nice fellow, wasn't he? Eh? Yeah, it's good to have a little bit of a chat. Flex the old Indonesian language. Yeah, out here where I live, basically most people don't speak English, so you sort of got to learn a little bit. And over the years, I just picked up more and more. I learnt basically in Indonesian just by myself. I've never done any school, just sort of from a bar. Except they always used to teach me the naughty stuff and the wrong stuff, and I'd always get in trouble. So then I sort of buckled down and learned a little bit. But streets like this are just unreal. Like I regularly walk through here because, yeah, it's got the Bali style. Look, this is all Bali style, and the penjors and it just makes it nice. So anyway, we'll probably turn around and go back. Thank you, Pat. A little warong or something here. Alright. Yeah. Now, a building like this is like a kos. They call it kos kasan. And you can rent the rooms and that. They're cheap accommodation. Locals all live in kos, mainly. So, Alright, so we're going to head off down to another area and have a look around. My bike's just up the road here. I do a big loop around, about 1 kilometre every morning. Just getting back onto that, when you get out of the tourist areas and that into areas like this, the full Balinese areas, the people are just so much nicer. They're not after your money and not trying to hassle you to buy something, you know. They're just, it's just everyday life, you know. So that's why I enjoy coming to little areas like, you wouldn't even know this was here. It's right in the middle of the city, more or less, you know. So yeah, and along here, like a lot of the time, these penjors, these are still up from Galong, and the big, sometimes there's the big massive ones, and it sort of, in a way, comes down to the caste system here in Bali. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. So, there's basically 4 castes, but there's really only 3. The bottom caste is not really a caste, you know. So you've got Ida Bagus and Ida Ayu, which is descendants of like of the high priests. It's probably the highest caste. And then you've got Anak Agung, or Agung, which are the warriors, the nobles, the traders. And then the next one down, hello Buck. The next caste down is like the Dewa and Gusti caste, which are traders, merchants, more noble people, wealthy people. And then there's the bottom, the Sudra caste, which is really no caste at all. It's just the common people. About 93% I think are just common people, you know, which are the farmers and the workers in the construction and do all the work around the place. So that's basically a little rundown of the caste system in Bali. Okay, so just stopped in and my chicken supplier's got 100,000 worth, nearly 3 kilos of chicken. There you go, Liz, waiting on the bike for me. Good girl. Alright. Now I've got to go to the bank real quick, get some money out. Always running out of money. It's getting more expensive now. Like I get $1 million out, it only lasts a couple of days these days. When it used to last a week before COVID, you know. So anyway, let's head to the bank and yeah, get some cash. Okay, I got me money, got me 50s. I always just come to the bank. Never really use the ATMs around town. Always come to the bank, it's much safer. You know, you're not going to get skimmed. Anyway, there's someone just down the road here selling nasi jingo. I'm a bit hungry, so I might. It's getting a bit gloomy actually. Yeah, the weather's sort of on and off. 1 minute it's sunny, 1 minute it's not. So I'm going to head down here, grab something to eat. It's sort of busy, but it's not too bad. This is Sunset Road we're on here. So, yeah. Just here they're selling nasi jingo. So I might just grab a nasi jingo. Ada nasi jingo ayam?
Ya, ayam ada.
Mana? Yang mana?
Yang tidak ada tulisannya.
Alright.
Ini ayam.
Oh ya? Berapa tu?
6.000. Gorengan.
Alright. 6,000 cheap. Okay, 6,000. About 50-60 cents. Kasih Pak.
Oke.
Oh begini aja.
Kita pakai kasih.
That's okay.
Sendok.
Nah, sama tangan bisa. Alright. Alright, so see straight away he asked me if I wanted a plastic bag and no. Do you want a spoon? No, eat it with your hands. But anyway, yeah, so cheap. 60-cent feed. We'll sit down and have a look, see what that's like. Find a little quiet spot. And yeah. What do you reckon, Liz? Hungry? Want some nasi jingo? So I'll show you what it's like, basically. Nasi jingo. It's what the locals eat. It's cheap, you know, 50-60 cents. And yeah, let's open this up. This is chicken. So you get a bit of rice, bit of noodles, bit of veggies and chicken. A fair bit of chicken in that really for 6,000. So the shredded chicken. So that's a nasi jingo. So yeah, this is what the locals eat. Most of the time they only eat a couple of times a day. They might just have 2 of these. So they're living on $1, you know, a couple of bucks a day with a drink, you know what I mean? So, and that's sort of with their salaries are so low is what they've just got it. They can't go to restaurants and that and spending $200,000-300,000, like $20-30 every meal like the Westerners do. So yeah, this is basically nasi jingo. It's a typical Indonesian food for all times of day. Yeah, see, so keep your interactions. Like when I bought the nasi jingo, I didn't ask him how long he's been open for and, you know, how many kids he's got and all this sort of crap. You know, keep your interactions. If they're curious people, if they ask you questions, then you can follow through and ask a lot. But never ask to go into people's yards and have a look around and noisy motorbike. Unless you're invited. If you're invited in, that's fine, but otherwise keep your interactions by chance, you know, and that's keeps everyone happy that way. Normally when you start talking to them, they start asking you the questions, and because they're curious people, you know, they want to know how long you've been here, where you're from, and blah blah, and that gives you the opportunity to ask them. So just keep your interactions with the locals non-invasive, you know. Okay, so I'm just leaving the bank here, and I notice these new machines here, and look at this, magic wash. Now this is to wash your motorbike helmet. So it says 5 minutes. You basically, I suppose, you scan the code. Let me see. What are you going to do? Place your helmet inside and close the door. Select the service and complete the payment. You pay first, place the helmet inside and close the door. The cleaning process will begin automatically. Once the cleaning is complete, close the door. Now I don't know whether it's going to dry too, so I won't use it till I bring a spare helmet down, but I'm going to come down and try it, because your helmets get a bit stinky after a while, you know. You're sweating all the time in them, and I've got a brand new helmet I use that I got with my other motorbike, my new motorbike, but the helmet I've got on, she gets a bit stinky. I've got to put it in. Normally you'll there's special little shops around that actually wash it. You pick it up the next day or that afternoon, but this just might be right. You pay with Pay, which is like QR code pay, and I can't see where the scan is. I suppose you just tap your card on screen. Might come down, grab a spare helmet and check that. It's just something new. There's so much stuff going on there. Nowadays there's coin laundromats and that everywhere, where they just never used to be before. Coin laundromats, now they're popping up everywhere. Normally I just put it in we've got our own washing machine, but a lot of people don't, and if it's raining, we go to the laundromat, the coin one, and you can use the dryers, you know. So things are getting more modern in Bali. Yeah, it's getting close to Christmas now. I can comment now with voice messages on my YouTube. It used to be AI messages. They give you 3 options, and I just click one. But YouTube wrote messages for you. But now it's got the voice message, so it makes it a little bit more personal, and a little bit more interactive with my subscribers or viewers. So yeah, if you get a message you wonder what it is, it's probably just a voice message. It's not a typed out message. Comes Lucy. Comes my garbage truck. Over. Hello, Liz. Alright, so yeah, the garbages, they're only been coming once a week now. Like the dump is supposed to be closed in December at Serangan, and yeah, they've got to wait in line sometimes for a day or more just to get into the dump at the moment. So there's a big trouble with the rubbish at the moment. So anyway, just let me know in the comments what you think, if you want me to interact more with the local people. But I'm definitely don't, it'll only be by chance. I'm not going to purposely go out just to find people to talk to, just for likes and views, to make it look good and speak in Indonesian and that. Like, I've just been here that long that the novelty of all that's over, you know. I just do my daily thing. I buy things, I ask what it is and get it and buy it, pay it and go, you know. I don't really hang around asking them all these questions, but interactions are good. It's good. It helps me keep in touch with the Indonesian language a little bit. And yeah, so if you want to see more interactions with local peoples, yeah, drop a comment. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Hope you like this one, and don't forget to have a really good Christmas and New Year's.